This is your chance to see it. It won't be up after.
Yeah, pay attention now because you never know. You never know when lightning's going to strike and just say, nope.
You know, people are going to start recording our freaking episodes now, right?
Hope not. I hope not.
I didn't realize. I know there's like all sorts of different buttons as far as like streaming and live and recording. I didn't realize there was a pout button on YouTube that you could hit and just kind of make something go away. So,
well, I found it.
it's good
All
to
right.
know.
Guys,
champ. What's up?
I need to ask for some help.
And you're asking us?
I've given a lot of advice on this podcast over the years, and I think all of it's been golden. But it's time for me to ask for a little help. Okay?
Anything for you, my boo.
And it's with my marriage.
Oh, fuck.
I need marriage advice.
I can stave off this whole conversation by just telling you to be a better person. So, the best marriage advice I have for you, don't be yourself anymore. It's not working.
Try acting like a human.
My wife makes...
What can we do for you, Steve? What do you got going?
Yeah.
I need to know how I can explain a thermostat to Courtney.
What?
So,
Explain.
So when you turn the dial up, it gets hot, right?
Yeah, unless you
I mean,
have one of
that's-
them digital ones with the buttons.
Right.
the house is fine. It's the car.
Oh.
Okay? So, everybody remembers the old days. You got into a car, you turn the heat on, you usually had a slide or a dial. You turn it towards cold if you want it colder. You turn it towards the red. If you turn it towards blue if you want it colder.
Mm-hmm.
Slide it or turn it towards red if you want it hotter. Easy, right? But then, a few years ago, they got into this thing where they said, hey, that's too easy. We got to do, or that's not easy enough. Let's start putting thermostats in cars. So now you can select the degree of temperature, usually even separately from the passenger to the driver.
Dual zone.
So, for years now, I've been trying to explain to her that when you get up on a 12-degree day, like today, and you want it to be, I don't know, 70, okay? It doesn't get warmer any faster if you crank it up to 85. So,
Can you support that with science?
Because I've heard this logic many times over the years, but I've never personally tried it.
I keep my Jeep at 68. Every morning I get up, I turn my remote start on. By the time I get out there, it's not 68, but it's better. My heated seats come on. My heated steering wheel comes on. It's nice and cozy, though, kind of usually. And when
you're
it
a
gets up,
bitch.
and when it gets up to 68, it stops getting any warmer because I don't want it any warmer. I'm wearing a winter jacket. I'm already sweating because I'm fat, and it takes me a while to trudge through the snow to get to the Jeep.
Because Cordy didn't shovel again.
But every time she takes my Jeep, like she did last night, and I get up this morning, and I get out there, and I go in the Jeep, it's up to 85, which is as high as it'll go.
85 is max.
If she were to put it at, if I were to see 70, I'd be like, oh, she wanted it a little warmer. That makes sense. 72 even. Okay? You get past 72, something's wrong. Fucking crazy. Because you know she's bundled up in a jacket, and she got a hat on, and she's got gloves on. You don't need it any warmer than that. That's ridiculous. But 85 degrees, what's the point in this? Now, I know I wanted to start this off by just attacking women. I know that surprises you. Because I wanted to say that most of the time that this is a woman thing, but it's not. It's not a woman thing. There are a bunch of guys that are idiots like this too. And I know that because I know where Courtney got it. She got it from her father. Her father doesn't get thermostats. One time we went snowmobiling up in the UP, me and him on the snowmobile trip. 3-day trip, staying in hotels along the ways. We go to one of this hotel. It's freezing out. Obviously, we walk in. We get to our room about 2:00, and somebody had turned the thermostat completely off in the room. The water in the toilet was iced over. It was so cold. Okay. But no biggie. No biggie because, hey, we're not staying here right now anyways. We're just checking in. We're going to jump on those snowmobiles. We're going to go up and hit a casino. Then we're going to grab dinner. And by the time we get back, that room should be fine, right? Father-in-law goes over, turns the thermostat on, cranks it up to 90. Why would you crank it up to 90? I didn't know this at the time. Why would you crank it up to 90?
I can tell you why.
Because it gets warmer faster if you crank it up to 90, right?
Well, and
that's what they think.
And you're old, so you're colder, and you're rich, so you don't give a fuck.
Well, you don't want it 90.
Couple little factors
Some
there.
people do, though.
But we didn't because we walked into the hotel a few hours later in our snowmobile gear, trudging down the hall, hot as fuck. By the time we open the door, you walk into the room and it hits you in the face like you were in fucking Jamaica.
Okay, I'm gonna...
And then my father-in-law goes, "It's freaking hot in here." So Courtney's at a disadvantage by learning how thermostats work. But I can't stop myself from... I drove here in anger over this.
Can I?
So he spends, this vacation in full Steve mode, and he was funny. Like, it was funny, okay? But about 4 days into this, the pool temperature drops. The girls are starting to get crazy. And then about a couple days later, Steve's like, yeah, I turned that pool down.
And at this point, they had been together long enough where all their menses had synced. So,
Yeah.
or sunk.
And
All
guess
the menses
what?
had Sunk?
Lori Hunt
Synced?
gets up
You're in a judgment-free zone.
and cranks that bitch back up hotter than it was before I even started. And I'm like, why did you turn? You turned it up high. I'm like, you turned it up like 3 degrees higher than it was before I turned it down. No, this is where it was. So I ended up suffering even more.
So the one that ultimately cranked
made
up
a mistake.
cranked up the pool the hottest was the one that sat on the edge of the pool under 14 umbrellas to stay out of the sun.
Yeah, it slept 22 hours a day and was never in the pool.
Okay, just curious.
Yeah, but I got yelled at. Katie was upset with me. Everybody was upset with me. It felt really good.
Just think,
He's
so
like, mission
over.
accomplished.
This was over a pool. Imagine those girls listening to the Lost episode of last week. How do you think they'd feel about you then?
This was the trip. This was the trip that I know we told this on the podcast. I had one of my most epic jokes ever when the waitress came to the table. And we had an adults table and a children's table, and she wanted to know which children belonged to which adults for billing purposes. And I said, I got the 2 ugliest girls over there. Nobody laughed. It was hilarious.
No, because they were cutting themselves. Yeah, not cool, Steve.
The waitress looked at me like I was a monster.
You shouldn't have gone full on to ugly. You should have started with, I have the plain and the homely one. Like, you should have used term, and both of these girls are beautiful. I'm just saying this is what Steve should have done. Instead of just going right to ugly, I've got the plain and the homely one and try to like and then she's got to pick them out. Like, both my girls are ugly. Which ones are they? Like, put her on the spot.
I actually wanted to make a joke about some of the other kids being ugly because they're uglier than my kids. But that wouldn't be appropriate.
Right, you got to make fun of your
I
own
got to make
kids.
fun of my
Yeah.
own.
Yeah.
So, I just said that.
When you guys watch Peacemaker, do you sometimes think of Steve?
I mean, wait, which one? You talking his dad or
Maybe up until the pointy banged that butterfly from behind, then I knew it wasn't Steve. So I'm like, no, those lights are on. That can't be Steve.
Steve's like a crossover of Vigilante and the White Dragon.
I'm not the white dragon.
Honestly, though, Steven would be the guy that would just bitch for days about his pinky toe being missing. I'm just gonna fall over now. You can't walk without a pinky toe.
He can't. There's no way. He can't. There's no way he'd be Peacemaker.
White
Because I
Dragon-
don't see Steve ever crying. I don't think Steve has.
You don't think he does cry, though? I mean, every once in a while. Steve, when's the last time you cried?
I tell you, he doesn't have tear ducts. They've been cauterized by himself when he was 6.
I don't need these anymore.
My dad said these are for bitches.
His brother was there handing him the hot poker.
It was like
We did it too.
it was like a Bushotee rite of passage.
Now chop your dick off.
Oh, you need that procreation.
Oh, I would be willing to bet that yours is amateur creation.
That's
but-
why you don't puke either. It's like crying for your throat.
I don't puke. I mean, at least
I've never
shouldn't
thrown
say
up.
that, but 'cause I'm afraid I will.
Not
and
even when
then
I was a baby.
I'll have to give myself 30 lashings for weakness.
So can we? So can we talk? Can we get back to the root of the issue here? Because I'd like to pile on if you don't mind, Stephen.
I asked for it.
So there's a sync button, okay? Dual climate control. If you move the driver and it's in sync, it moves the passenger, right?
Yeah.
As soon as you move the passenger, it takes it off of sync. So I'm cruising and I'm like, God damn it, it's so hot in here. And I look over and that side's at 85 because of my underfed daughter being so damn skinny. And don't turn, no, just change the driver. Don't touch the sync button. Because then that whole climate is full of hot air and it's wafting over. I don't know if you guys know this or not, but in a vehicle, there's no like invisible barrier like in the restaurants where you used to be smoking in non.
Right.
Like there's no wall to stop. Like you used to stop the smoke from going over there.
Right.
There's no wall to stop that hot air from coming onto my side of the vehicle.
Yeah, it's dual climate.
Yeah, you got to keep the sync button on.
Here's the funny part. If we travel together somewhere, Courtney will get in and she'll just immediately crank it up to 85, her side. Okay? Which is, like I said, stupid because I do not believe, unless somebody can prove me wrong.
I just looked it up while you were talking about it earlier.
Yeah,
And it doesn't make it get hotter faster.
exactly.
It just shuts it off once it hits
Yes,
that
it's
temperature.
a thermostat. That's
Yes.
it's just like your furnace at home. Your furnace doesn't blow multiple different temperatures of heat. It's either on or it's off. That's how it works.
That
That's
whole
how
thing's underneath the hood of my car. You got a big old furnace in a closet at the house.
that's like a thermos.
Like a thermos full of coffee.
Furnace.
Thermos. Well, thermostat. Furnace-stat. It's a furnace.
We need a new furnace stat.
So when we're on a trip together, Courtney will immediately, like I said, she'll get in there, she'll crank it up to 85. We'll leave. By the time I'm out of the subdivision, she looks out the window and I crank her side back down to 68. And she never notices and she never complains. She's fine. Okay? I also turn her heated seats off after a while because she doesn't need that.
That don't affect you at all.
It's just
I know,
spiked
but I
now.
I don't like that the light's on.
Gotcha.
That
Gotcha.
light distracts me,
The
God
light's
damn it.
on.
You got cold buns now.
I'm fine. I don't even really like heated seats because it makes me feel like I peed my pants.
I don't like heated seats. Never have.
I was sitting on that a heating pad for a while there when my butt was really hurting, and it really makes the satchel get real loose, and it made me immediately feel like I had to pee. Like even if I just peed, and I'd sit down on it, I'm like, I gotta pee. And then you get up, and I didn't have to pee, but it felt like I had to pee, but I didn't have to pee. But it felt like it.
When you plowed regularly,
Back when we first got married. Or before. They were trying to make babies.
Steven, when you when at your job you moved snow with a
Oh
vehicle.
yeah, that kind of plow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did do that. I did that for years.
So when you were when my deputy chief taught me how to plow, because we do our own stations now, the defrost is on high because you get the billowy snow that comes up and hits, so it basically just hit and becomes instantly water, and you can just keep it clean. So he's always plowed like the window halfway down, and then but the heat cranked all the way up specifically on defrost.
Yep.
And I
Okay,
was like, it was and the way he explained it was like a plow guy's trick, and I just didn't know if that was something you guys did, but it works great.
A couple things. One, I can't imagine that you've had 4 kids prior to learning how to plow, and 2, Keith literally is the one that taught you how to plow.
Wow,
That's disgusting.
Yeah, there's.
I saw the joke. I just let
I
him
know.
go.
I know. I could see Steve's dad, like not because I know Steve's dad, but the way. Let me rephrase this.
No one can ever really know my dad.
So let me rephrase this. The way Steve describes his dad, I could see him, like sitting at like an armchair, like in the corner of the room, like with a cigarette and like a glass of scotch, going, "Yeah, all right, now speed it up, Stevie." Yep, yeah, she likes that. Don't do that. Like in coaching him through like his first few encounters,
So wrong.
and like he lost his virginity to like a coworker that was divorced. You know what I mean? Like, honey, they brought over for a nice dinner. Like, hey, here's the deal. I need you to.
We don't speak of
I
that.
need you to pop my son's cherry.
We don't speak of that. We don't speak of the tender time.
Rose is coming over.
We don't speak of affection. We don't speak of those things.
Surprised you haven't cauterized your asshole.
Steven, what are you doing looking at? Don't look in her eyes.
Shit,
You're not
just
making
crying
love, son.
for your ass.
Yeah.
Is that Friday?
So what did we determine the last time you cried?
Yeah, when's the last time you cried?
I don't know. Courtney was always expecting me to cry when we got married. And they do the whole, you're standing up there
Yeah.
at the altar. Jeremy doesn't know.
No, I've seen it though.
But and then all of a sudden they hit the bride's music and everybody turns around and looks at the bride.
With the happy me.
Yeah.
Me. Oh boy.
And then what people will do typically is they'll
graduation.
turn
I've
around
seen
and
that
they'll look at the
way, I
groom and they expect him to have some sort of face, like sheer joy or crying or some emotion. I was void. I'm like, I knew what this was getting into. I already know what she looks like under that dress. It's not like I haven't tried this out. There's nothing new here. We're living together. We own a house together at this point. I don't see what this is all a bunch of freaking hoopla and nonsense for a bunch of people who want to get sentimental and spend $25,000. All right?
25 grand is what your wedding cost?
I have no idea.
Oh.
But it wasn't cheap. I know that buying a freaking bottle of Jack Daniels was $90 at the place we had it. That's ridiculous. So,
By the shot. That makes sense.
in my opinion, I was going through. It was just we're just going through the motions. And then Courtney was like, well, "You didn't even have an emotion. You didn't smile. You didn't cry." And I'm like, "Yeah, well, why would I cry? If I cried, wouldn't that be bad? You're that bad? I have to cry." I'm like, "Oh God, I don't want to."
Don't you know me well enough by now? If I'm crying, it's terrible. Speaking of which, when's the last time you cried?
I don't know. I really can't think of the last time I cried.
There hasn't been like a movie that Spider-Man that didn't do anything for you?
don't know.
Nothing. Jesus.
Well, we asked him when the last time he cried, and he went back 20 years ago to his wedding to say
Right.
that I didn't
Say
cry
that you
then.
Didn't cry then, yeah.
Which, by the way, did you get emotional at that point, what he was describing?
Fuck yeah.
I did too. I kind of forgot, but I'm like, oh, yeah, I got emotional.
I had trouble
Yeah.
getting through my vows. I was so goddamn emotional.
You already had a kid with her.
I know. I'm a fucking human being,
You
Steven.
were already trapped.
I'm not a
He was in love, Steve.
I'm in love too. My love is a very different kind of love.
Yeah, we know, because whether she likes it or not, she's getting your love. You made that abundantly clear.
Not true. It's not true.
So, Jeremy, when's the last time you
Sometimes
cried?
I withhold it to punish her.
I don't have like full on cries, but I mean, when tears like just kind of came out without me forcing them. Yeah, I think it might have been Spider-Man.
Really? Like,
I think so.
nothing in the last couple of weeks made you sad? I mean, I read your goddamn Facebook post and had tears like fucking
Oh,
streaming
what,
down
the
my
mom
face.
thing?
Yeah.
Oh, not like I just found her. That was like fucking 12, 14, whatever years ago.
He posts it every year.
I know.
Yeah.
I got
It's
emotional
a reminder
reading
for
that.
those people who are like struggling inside that you too can be as amazing as me if you fucking just get through it, bitch.
Yeah, buddy.
Let's slip out.
When's the last time you cried, Trev?
Actually, I'm gonna side with Jeremy on this, and I'll probably say actually during Spider-Man.
You probably cried harder. Like I said, I was actually fighting it. I had
Yeah.
just like a little crystal.
What the fuck is wrong? Your grandma just passed, Trav. I
Yeah.
was sad for you.
I know, and I cried.
know?
I cried about that, but I cried prior to her passing. Like when she passed, I actually was happy for her because
Right.
it was.
That makes sense.
Yeah. Now, don't get me wrong.
You know.
A week prior to fucking Spider-Man, I'm standing in her yard bawling like a baby.
Right.
Like Heidi, get the fuck away from me. Like I just need to be alone.
I remember when it was.
Okay.
It's good to get that out, though. That's why this guy fucking. This is exactly why he rips bras and shit. Like he doesn't.
That was just an accident. I remember when the last time I cried was.
Okay.
I had a sty, and it got infected, and my right eye just kept tearing up. Anyway, that's where I'm at.
Nobody's gonna ask. I cried
Although-
yesterday.
Like I said,
So
if I decided to show my emotions, I'd make damn sure I'm the best at it.
Did you cry at the banquet? Hey,
nope. Liv's friend passing away. My
Yep.
daughter's friend
Yep.
passed away yesterday. So 15 and
That made me feel
terrifying.
sad.
So
Yeah.
I don't even know her. I felt sad.
Yeah.
I heard that.
I don't. It's really cool that you spend enough time with us humans that you can actually kind of at least use the right terminology.
I need.
Maybe
I need to mimic the emotion people are feeling.
maybe I'm a butterfly.
Maybe.
No, you remind me of Dexter. One of my favorite episodes of Dexter.
Dark passenger.
He's sitting there watching the movie with Rita, and Rita starts crying about the movie, and he like tries to go down on her. She's like, "What are you doing?" It's like, I'm trying to make you feel better."
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
Well, that does make sense because that's like to try to save the day. That's what your wife does too. You know?
Okay.
So
It's amazing, and I said it every week, but I cannot believe. I'll go back to Peacemaker. I just can't believe that I actually give a shit about a show that John Cena is starring in. So much so, and Laura, she doesn't like shit at all for the most part. But I'm slowly bringing her in, but she wants to watch the show as well. We went to Figures and Flicks the other day. They got half off toys because they're closing down. Sorry, Don. And there's a fucking Peacemaker figure, and I'm like, Laura, check this out. She's like, oh, like she's actually considering fucking getting him. 3 episodes ago, she's like, fuck John Cena. And now she's like, fuck John Cena. I mean, maybe not, but I will.
he's too veiny.
He is
I don't
very
like-
veiny.
I don't like all the veins.
He
Got
has
a lot of
He has a
veins.
very weird, bubbly body.
He
He does look somewhat like he's inflated.
and we had discussed this, you know,
He's like an air mattress
his
with arms.
acting
Together for us.
abilities. Laura says veins are good, by the way.
Yeah.
She's like, because Jeremy don't have any.
I'll just say, when's the last time she saw a vein?
On a Snickers bar. Because they got it on me.
So that's the problem. So we're sitting there at Easter. I'm eating the candies out of the basket. You guys are eating the grass. That's awesome. Good for you.
I'll eat the fuck out that grass.
Oh,
I don't care.
coconut.
I like me some coconut.
I do too. I didn't when I was a kid, but I love it now.
Yeah, almond joys and shit.
Yeah. No,
Yeah,
thank you.
smear it all over my nipples.
Steven, we're in the candy bar aisle. You got 3 seconds to make a decision. What are you grabbing and go? 1,
Milky
2. I like that.
Oh.
Jeremy, go. 1,
Reese's
2,
Peanut
3.
Butter Cup.
Reese's peanut butter cups.
Oh, God, so
go.
good.
1, 2.
Not Reese's peanut butter cup, but the eggs.
The eggs.
Oh.
Okay.
Egg or tree or whatever.
Yeah, any kind of
yeah.
combination.
Whatever
really, but
the
eggs have-
seasonal Reese's peanut butter cup.
I think they're better.
or even the big cups. They
Joe Crazy Bill. 1, 2, 3. Twix.
I love
Nice.
Twix.
yeah.
Cody.
Fast break.
What?
What a fucking weirdo.
Fucking fast break.
What's a fast
Oh.
break?
I'd never even heard of that.
Yeah. Don't you mean whatchamacallit?
No, Fast Breaks is made by Reese's.
I'm gonna look it
It's
up.
got peanuts
I'm
in
gonna
it
look it up.
or something.
I've heard of it. I have seen
Cody,
it.
go to the store right now.
Yeah,
Get
get
us
us-
money.
Get
Walk
us
over
all
to
a
the dollar
fast
store.
break.
They probably don't. They probably don't have them.
Whatchamacallit?
Why did he just automatically do it? Why don't you just automatically do yours?
I just want to be treated the same as everybody else.
Such a bitch. He's such a bitch.
And I totally just forgot.
Because a real man
We're all
would just
moving
fall
on
in line.
to Googling what's in a fast break. What I should have done,
Stop my brain.
I should have waited till we got through the toy news segment, and then when you guys all looked at me to say thanks, UPS guy, I should have been like, Pete, 1, 2, whatchamacallit?
I love those two.
Yeah, they're good.
Yeah.
Oh, that's okay. A fast break is like Reese's peanut butter cups. Reese's fast break has a milk chocolate coating over a peanut butter filling. However, the fast break also has a layer of nougat beneath the peanut butter.
That does sound good.
Oh, yeah, let's
It
slide
adds
some
some
Three
nude.
Musketeer shit in there, and that's perfect.
The words of Pete McCarthy don't necessarily represent the other.
That's an acceptable term,
Yeah.
Jeremy.
Yeah, well, I mean,
Is it?
that's fine.
It is.
Today it is. Today it is.
Nougat is. You can say
Yeah,
nougat.
you can say nougat.
Am I pronouncing it wrong? Is it nugget?
Actually, it's kind of funny. I just got this message from one of my mom's old friends. It
Yeah?
says, Jeremy, I worry about you showing all your figurines. It might look too enticing to some. You guys ever think about that at all? When you're like, well, I know you
Think
don't.
somebody's going to break into your house and take your vintage Madballs?
Like, if you got to break down my fucking door to steal that shit, I mean, I'll just give it to you.
Yeah.
I mean, with my gun that I'm going to shoot you with, you son of a bitch.
Because they're all mine.
Because they're all mine, you fuck.
No, I.
That's nice. Thanks. Is he presenting for me?
So I gave this to Steve to pose because I was like, this looks like a really cool posable figure.
He puts him in doggy style.
I like the fact that you can actually like look at the angle there. He arches his back nice and
Back shots.
It's so wrong.
Welcome to the show, Joe.
Yeah.
Perfect timing.
Yeah, once again. Oh boy.
I guess
Oh,
he's pretty
shit.
posable.
I had him in some swinging poses, but then I thought, well,
Well, that's a swinging pose, too, because
Yeah.
if it's somebody that's not your husband behind you.
But
you
what,
know?
here's what's hilarious. The three of us, four of us, we look at this pose and think, Spider-Man's about to take it.
Yeah.
Steve looks at it and goes, oh, somebody's about to mount him. They're going to go for a single-arm takedown.
second round he won the towing cost pick down. Because down
Whoa,
was easier to get
put
in
him
the
down.
state.
That move's illegal.
No,
Oh, come
nah,
on.
Bill is breaking Steve's toys.
Yeah. Please don't let him fall over because that necklace is going to break if it does.
Oh, okay. So, toy news.
Mickey, Goofy, Donald, and Pluto. So
Did anybody ever find out why the two dogs are so different? That's been like a burning question for a lot of people for a lot of years.
I mean, they're just different.
Why is Goofy
different
like a
genes,
humanoid dog
Because
and Pluto's a dog?
I'm not.
It's
I
weird.
don't know. Although Pluto the dog he deciphers everything. He knows what everybody's saying and
I think
doing.
it has something to do with Walt Disney sympathizing with Hitler. I don't know.
Okay, there you go. That's what it is.
Okay,
Moving
we're
on.
Somebody want to take Grandpa's keys away before he turns us into a ditch?
All we have. This is
Super
another 7 with Beastie Boys.
Maybe that was Ford. Maybe I got that mixed up. Sorry, Walt Disney.
Fuck.
Thanks, Trevor.
Oh, Jesse Arnold new to the
He says
live
I was
show
right.
also.
What were
It
you
was
right about?
Disney.
Oh,
About
okay.
Disney. About Walt Disney.
Oh, yeah. So it looks like we're gonna get some Beastie Boys.
Vizzini!
Oh,
Well, I wasn't done, but that's fine.
inconceivable.
Fuck it. Moving on. What, you don't like the Beastie Boys?
And clearly not choose the one in front of me.
So what you want,
So you
Cody?
made your decision then? Not remotely.
Yeah, I'm excited.
I am waiting for Vicini.
Here we go. Wave 2 of the Princess Bride
Told me to go
figures
back to the beginning.
This is where we got the job.
from the.
I will not be
God
moved.
damn it, I'm out.
As soon as his head is in view, hit it with the rock.
Buttercup don't look.
Yeah, it seems like McFarlane kind of blows.
sword handle's a little too. It's just.
Oh, that sword handle.
That sword
is
handle's
trash.
ridiculous.
His father slaved for a year before it was done. The six-figured man showed up and demanded it, but at 1/10 his promised price, his father refused.
I've never seen a
Without a
sequel.
word, the six-figure man slashed him through the heart. And then it came out on Disney.
Fezzik in cloak. And
Looks like my
that looks like him.
aunt.
I didn't mean.
We finally have a Pete action figure.
I feel accustomed.
Well, I'll tell you, Pete, for Halloween.
Yeah, I'm
mean,
telling. That's
holy
why I'm
shit.
like he fucking
Yeah.
nailed it. So
I didn't mean to junk him so hard. Why are you wearing a mask? You got burned by acid or something? No, it's entirely comfortable. I think everybody will be wearing
he got
it.
his voice down.
Why are you wearing a mask?
You have a beautiful gift for rhyme.
I could kill you now.
I could kill you. I think the odds are in your favor in hand fighting.
Fans of the show, they're gonna have that box and they want your autograph on it.
That's weird to me.
It's gonna happen.
I would sign it.
Maybe I can get Walter to sign mine.
I'll sign everything.
I'll sign anything. I'll sign your titty.
Mezco 112 collective collectors. Isaac Alberto Alvarez Ruiz posted. This is not a complaint post. Asterisk, asterisk.
Yeah.
Both sides of it.
Here comes the
So it's
complaint
complaint
post.
post. Yeah.
I'm not racist, but here
I
comes
don't
a
want
black
to
joke,
be
you know what I
that
mean?
guy, but
I'm pretty
Hey,
sure.
no offense, but I'm about to offend you.
It's weird, but there is a butt right in the first.
I don't know what the point he was trying to make it.
Maverick, how is Travis not accidentally summoned a demon from reading stuff aloud? One of these days you're going to try to read a Mexican name and the floor is going to open up and a horned creature is going to come out.
And I'll be like, fuck Maverick.
So
Going through, as I've been cleaning up my garage, I've been going through boxes, and I found
Oh yeah.
oh, I love those.
a big stack of these cards, and I want to spread them out a little bit and just
I should bring in my card books. I think I might have all
Man,
of
I
them.
drew so many of these
Yeah,
when
yeah.
I was a kid.
it's just it's so crazy. And there's like 4 or 5 different lines
I
here.
may have masturbated to some of them.
There was some of them that were there were,
This is how like I got to know a bunch of characters.
and
I
their
looked
power
through these cards,
sources
yeah.
and
I have 4 cards here. Silver Sable, sweet ass. Rogue is stacked. Dark Phoenix is banging. And then I have this one, and I'm like, yeah, that's what Steve masturbated to.
I don't
Look
know,
how
man.
strong
This
this
might
guy
give you a run
is.
for your money.
Oh, yeah.
You got
Oh, yeah.
Quasar.
Yeah, Quasar.
and actually I want to show you guys how dumb I was too. This is a great example. So apparently the book that I had for these to slide them into, they were too narrow.
You
So
cut them
your
down.
cards?
So I cut my cards down.
Instead of paying 80 cents and getting
get
like
a
a
new
whole
one.
package of fucking right
Yeah,
size
this was
ones.
cut down, you
Dumbass.
son of a bitch.
Jeremy's gonna have his own segment. Thanks, UPS guy. It's gonna be the stuff that Trav bought that he said he was getting out of. Nothing for me because I'm broke. Stuff that Steve's painted that isn't for sale. He's
And
just
I'm the
showing
only
off
guy
his
buying
paint.
shit.
Then we're gonna move to the next section called intervention, and then it's gonna be what you got.
These are fucking awesome.
You are never financially going to recover.
There's no way. No, I'm fucked. You can't even resell these.
Which I didn't see. These are
Did I say
great.
mini?
But
'Cause
you
I
didn't
meant
get the. You didn't, so there's just the one variant you're
the
after,
one variant.
and you didn't get it.
Nope, I didn't. But I'm that's what I want. But I'm glad that I got all of them Because apparently Gary ordered some of these, and he got like triples of one and like doubles of another. And
There was one that I wanted, so I ordered this 8-pack. I didn't get the one that I wanted, but I'm so happy I got these 8.
Well, I wanted 9 of them, so the one I want the most is the hardest one to find.
Could you imagine buying a case of something and not getting the one you wanted?
Could you imagine buying that case?